Hello guys, welcome to Craziest Top 10. People really do a lot of crazy things and have disastrous surgeries just to look like their favorite celebrities. This ranges from looking like this to looking like this. Also this. Stick with me, and let me show you some of these mind-blowing things done just to look like their idols. Show the channel some support by liking and subscribing to receive good luck this week. Number 10. Leigh, in order to look like her favorite musician, Michael Jackson. This British mother of 3 children has invested an amount that amounts to more than $14,000 in cosmetic surgeries, including rhinoplasty, jaw, and chin surgery, but this investment surely does not affect her economy since it is estimated that she has an annual profit of more than $200,000. This woman is a singer, and since 1992 she has dedicated herself to resembling the artist, becoming one of his most noteworthy imitators. Leigh, in order to look like her idol, Michael Jackson. This singer has lost his personal qualities, though it might be claimed that the results are offering sacrifices that the industry calls for, and she discloses that many people know that she is a woman, but that does not stop them from celebrating her capabilities. Number 9. Chavez, this young Filipino owner of the largest collection of superhero materials according to the Guinness Book of Records, is the greatest admirer of the legendary Superman. Not just because of his collection but also because he has undergone numerous cosmetic surgeries in order to look like him. More than 26 surgeries have been done to this character's account, including entirely changing his Asian looks to dark skin tone, as Western traits are as similar as possible to those of the legendary character. His operations have ended since the young person injected suspected illicit drugs into different parts of his body, which would put him at serious risk if he were to enter an operating room again. However, he admits to wanting to undergo an operation to broaden his thighs and another to put in lifetime contact lenses. This boy's concept is that to be a superhero, you don't need to have superpowers. Number 8. Every scenario in which a person has done both the possible and the impossible to look like their idols. It might be the story of Celso Santebes, a young Brazilian who attempted to look like anyone who was one of the most famous persons you know to achieve this goal. Celso, who started his transformation when he was just 16 years old, spent more than $33,000 in approximately 12 surgical operations and at least a couple of hundred cosmetic surgeries. All of this caused Celso's health to suffer because of the numerous surgeries that he acquired an aggressive form of leukemia, which, according to the medical doctors, developed between his legs due to a polymeric implant that he implanted years ago. Unfortunately, Celso died on June 4, 2015, of a lung problem during his treatment session. Number 7. Frank Mariano is a person who strives to look like their role models along with others. Unlike Ricky Martin, Mark has no longer encountered endless treatments, especially after having reduced weight and had the stomach surgery, weighing 92 kilograms. However, the major modifications have been pointed out on his face, which has already undergone a minimum of 10 surgeries without including the Botox surgeries. The impact that a lot of things have had on his face has been such that now, Frank Mariano, who does not appear like Ricky Martin at all, is unable to feel his face, which implies the amount of harm that has been done to his organs. Number 6. Carolina Anderson, a British presenter who was just 32 years old, has spent approximately $35,000 in order to become the perfect lookalike of Pamela Anderson through scalpel surgery, something that she has undoubtedly achieved despite the surgical procedures that have been often in the life of this twin. A breast lift, waist-widening liposculpture, transferring weight, and thickening of the lips, among others, in addition to receiving dangerous drugs that enables her to show off an almost natural brown without the need for sun rays. However, not everything for this woman has been useful. In the real world, she has had urgent surgery for issues with her breasts and experienced serious skin burns when she used sunbeds before trying to apply sunscreen lotion. The case of Carolina Anderson is very exceptional. She has a family that has embraced her decision and supported her throughout her journey. Number 5. Jordan James Parker. For some struggling to look like their favorite artists, may be a tortuous path that, however, in the end, leaves some satisfaction. That is, if you know when. In the case of Jordan Parker, it shows that not everyone knows when to stop. And that is because if it is already difficult to look like someone of the same sex, trying to look like someone of the opposite sex can end in tragedy. His ambition to look like the celebrity Kim Kardashian has been such that it has led him to spend close to $150,000 on surgical interventions and aesthetic procedures. However, in addition to not bringing him closer to his goal, they have put him in a risky situation. Today, James suffers from paralysis in at least 75% of his face, mainly due to damage to the nerve endings in his face, an irreversible condition. Also, the quantity and quality of chemicals he has injected into his lips pose a true risk of tissue explosion. Number 4. For many, it is almost impossible to understand how someone in their right mind would undergo tens and even hundreds of surgical procedures in an effort to look like someone else. Now imagine someone undergoing the same rigor and risk but looking like an elf. Neil, a well-known Japanese adult film actress, has continually undergone surgeries that have led her to have an appearance very similar to that of the popular mythical character of the saga, Harry Potter. I did not see the house elf, for Dane has gone through practically total reconstructions of his chin, nose, and mouth, in addition to an excessive refinement of his face. Something that makes him look much more like a being from another planet. Number 3. Toby Sheldon. The case of Toby Sheldon has been widely disseminated and compared to the case of censuses before Vyas, mainly due to the fact that both lost their lives very young, but unlike Celso Sheldon, he did not die as a direct consequence of his surgeries. However, these were similar in some way. In their desire to resemble at all costs their objects of fascination, in this case, the famous Canadian singer Justin Bieber, both characters invested more than $100,000 in procedures that were strictly applied to their faces. But the truth is that Toby Sheldon's appearance was a far cry from Bieber's. However, to himself, he was the perfect twin. Number 2. Henry Damos, a Venezuelan musician, is becoming a fictitious figure. It may be a little simpler than becoming a real-life figure, as long as the character you pick isn't stripped of human qualities. Henry Damos has committed many years of his life and tremendous amounts of money to performing cosmetic alterations to his face that enable him to seem perfectly like the Red Skull, the iconic Marvel skeleton villain. To accomplish this, Damos has implanted at least 20 silicone implants in different places of his face to generate the skeletal appearance of his character. He then chopped off a huge chunk of his nose and tattooed the white area of his eye in order to create deep black eyes. Today, Damos is at the final part of his metamorphosis, which consists of producing a full tattoo on his face in red and black hues, precisely the way the Red Skull reveals his face. It should be mentioned that none of the adjustments made by this topic are considered plastic surgery, and they have not been carried out by doctors. They have all been done by professionals trained in body art. Number 1. Many people who want to look like their favorite celebrity have a clearly altered image of their physique and end up exaggerating their aspirations. Such is the case of Shar Tabar, an Iranian-born fan of Angelina Jolie. Tabar admits to having undergone approximately 50 surgery including lip and cheek augmentation and at least 10 rhinoplasty surgeries. In addition to undergoing strict weight control, This has undoubtedly brought health problems to this young woman, who is barely 20 years old. Serious complications arise in the nerve endings of her face that force her to regularly undergo stimulating massages. The worst thing is that in her ambition to become more like Jolie, this young lady says she will continue to have more surgery as long as it takes. Wow! Show the channel some support by liking and subscribing to receive good luck this week.